Hey guys, it's Jeebins and welcome back to Powerwash Convos. Today I'm joined by Noli101. Say hi, Noah.
I know.
Yeah. So if you didn't see the last episode with Ethan, basically I'm ripping off Markipliers' idea of playing this game and having like a conversation with my content creator friends.
And
That's
Noah.
and Noah, yeah. Noah he streamed a little bit, but not as much as some of the other people I'll be joined by. So yeah, we can get started. We're here cleaning the fire station. Uh, how was your day today, Noah?
Pretty good. I woke up relatively early,
Mm-hmm. But
meaning a normal time.
a normal time to wake up is like what, 12?
I think that's what we decided yesterday, but if we go by that explanation, it's like a very unholy hour.
Let's see. Yeah, I tend to sleep in, as Noah here knows. And so waking up early to do stuff is not easy for me. Today, last night my phone was almost dead, so I went to charge it, but I made sure I had an alarm. So I charged it like on the other side of the room when I went to bed. So that
I
I
want to
would
make
have,
sure you wake up.
so I had to get up to turn off the alarm.
My alarms have either been really quiet recently, or I've just been like sleeping through them.
You know, the second one sounds more accurate to me.
I mean, me too, but you never know.
But also it is somewhat dependent on your ringer, like the volume it's at, so maybe you just have your volume really low.
Maybe I have to check that before I go back to school.
Yeah. I don't think I mentioned this before, but I'm actually not going to school this semester. I mean, no one knows this, but the people at home
I
do.
was gonna say, am I supposed to act shocked or?
Yes, they're supposed to act shocked.
Oh my gosh! I can't believe this. When
Not,
did this happen?
not that shocked. They gotta be believable.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, I didn't think I could learn how to drive quick enough, so I decided to take the semester off.
That's fair. I agree with your decision because, like,
I'm glad you agree. I was trying to get your approval.
I know. As you know, I'm very egotistical, and my approval means is like the most worth, worthwhile approval in the world. Yeah.
Makes sense.
And if anybody says otherwise, they're wrong.
Something like that. I got coffee that I'll probably forget to drink all of, and it will get cold, and I'll get sad.
Yeah.
No, you like coffee, right?
Very much not.
Well, it seems to me like you're just wrong. I think
Oh, okay.
everyone likes coffee, and everyone else is lying.
Everyone else is lying.
Hmm.
It's an interesting way to look at it, John.
It is.
I finally finished your other episode with Ethan.
Yeah, what do you think of it?
It was actually really, really interesting. You know how we were talking about like that one ghost game?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize like the jiggle physics wasn't all that they were doing bad. Like I didn't realize it was like a scam entirely.
Yeah, no, I don't think I mentioned that to you when I was talking briefly mentioning it to you. I just remember that one was one of the bigger points of it, because they were like supporting that kind of stuff and not.
It's kind of ironic that like the scam thing is not the worst reason that the game developers are bad.
Right. Yeah, I wish like it seems to happen more and more lately, where like you'll like something, or you'll be excited for something, and then it's like, oh yeah, the developers of this thing are just complete terrible people. Like apparently the makers of the Suicide Squad game like are really terrible people.
Wait a second. There was a Suicide Squad game?
It hasn't come out yet.
Okay. I was gonna say, how much did I miss? Did I, like, ignore everything for a year? Like, by accident?
It's possible.
Possible.
But yeah, they're making a Suicide Squad game. I don't know how I feel about it. If the developers are scumbags, I don't know if I want to support it. But I don't think I've seen a good Suicide Squad story ever.
I'll watch the Suicide Squad.
Not Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know they like soft reboot it, so like they have the same actors and playing the same characters, but it's not the same story.
Yes.
Yeah.
I watched it last semester.
And you thought it was good?
It was very, very, very good.
I heard Birds of Prey was also pretty good.
Yes, that one's hilarious. And, like, you know, like...
I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on camera, but Harley Quinn is one of my favorite characters when they're not working with the Joker. Because, like, the Joker clearly abuses them, and so they're not at their best potential. But when they're like a anti-villain, I really like anti-villains. Or not anti-villain, the anti-hero.
I was gonna say, anti-villain does not really describe Harley Quinn in any conceivable way.
No. Anti-heroes, I really like those sorts of characters. So what their story is usually, as an anti-hero, I like.
I just like anti-heroes a lot. Like, you just finished season 2 of Daredevil, right? Like,
yeah, I think that. Without spoilers.
Oh.
Of course.
Without spoilers?
Yes, because people who are watching might not.
Okay. I won't say anything about what happens to the character. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Punisher.
Yeah, Punisher just as a character is typically an anti-hero.
Very interesting anti-hero. Like, I was pretty sure it wasn't a spoiler, you know, but like, I was like...
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that he was in it, but I was also like, I felt like...
If you don't know that the Punisher is in that series, you clearly don't know what the shows of that series are.
Yeah. Okay, I have a kind of a joke theory for Daredevil Reborn.
What is your joke theory for Daredevil Reborn?
Foggy Nelson's gonna be the actual hero.
Foggy Nelson will be Daredevil.
No, not Daredevil. He'll just turn out to be the actual hero and the focus of the series, and Daredevil will be this, like...
oh, he's the
sometimes
sidekick.
there, sometimes not.
That is a great theory. I hope it comes true.
I do too, but it's... if it doesn't, they're giving away free advice, so why would they not?
If it doesn't, they're just wrong in retconning it to fit their narrative.
Yeah. Loki's just a great character.
He is pretty cool. He's one of my favorite characters in the Daredevil show.
He seems like one of the more relatable characters in the Marvel shows. Like... seems like the only friend actively against their friend being a superhero.
Yeah, it's not even like I don't want you being a vigilante because vigilantism is illegal. It's like, I don't want you to die. Which is a very relatable sort of thing, I would imagine. I've never had one of my friends be a vigilante, but if they were, I would probably be against it.
Yeah, but like, I like how they didn't really harp on that like the Foggy, like, against vigilantism topic in season 1, because I feel like that shouldn't be a season 1 topic. They should build up their relationship and then and I really like how they did that.
I think he mentions it like every now and then in season 1 that he doesn't like vigilantes because he's a lawyer, so why would he like them?
It's also he's worried about his friends.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, at season 1 he didn't know, but I have a feeling he assumed at some points that's like, you're awfully tired.
Yeah, you're awfully tired of beating up for just a normal guy.
Well, you are blind, so I guess...
Yeah, I like a character, like a superhero being, like, their alter egos being blind, because, like, who would look at a blind guy and be like, oh yeah, that's a superhero right there.
Yeah, I don't think there's many like that. But I was like, I saw something on Reddit where it was like, that girl in the Hawkeye show, the deaf girl,
Mm-hmm.
and then it had a picture of um, Matt Murdock, and you're like, okay, how are they going to communicate? Because one's blind and one's deaf, so sign language doesn't work. Technically, in this case, it will, but you know?
Yeah, in most cases it wouldn't. But because Matt Murdock has special abilities.
Advanced sonar.
Advanced soda, yeah. He's pretty good. Oh yeah, you've been busy back here. I've just been cleaning, like, the windows. Just cleaned this whole front area.
Did you see my new nozzle?
Yeah, you got the Trident nozzle.
I think I was talking to you while I got it.
It might be, might have. But, I mean, just like the advantages Matt Murdock has at undercover, being blind is, like, those can lead to cool scenes too.
Yeah. But like, I was thinking recently, while I was, I think, watching the second season, how many of his villains or like the criminals on the street know he's blind?
You know, that's a good question, because, like, they don't ever talk about Daredevil being blind. They always, like, and obviously the villains don't know Matt Murdock is Daredevil, so why would they be talking about him? I feel like the ninjas do.
I think they learned by trial and error, like, hey, why didn't they block that? That's kind of strange.
But I don't think, like, most of the criminals know that he's blind.
None of them try to pull fast ones, right? Like, uh-oh. There's my alarm to remember to record.
I'm glad you remembered to record.
Yeah, I know. I thought I turned it off, but I guess I didn't. I was responsible. Can you believe that, John?
I don't.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I've been, for the people at home, I've been watching through, like, the Netflix Marvel shows, because they're becoming more important to the canon of the MCU.
Yeah.
And so far, I like them. I like, definitely Daredevil's my favorite, but the other ones I don't dislike. I know, like, for a lot of people, they didn't like the Marvel shows that much until Disney Plus, but I do. I like them.
I like actors. I think specific actors did amazing. I'm not gonna say the actor because I'm pretty sure that's a spoiler.
Probably.
But you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
But
I probably just shouldn't have brought that up, but I kind of thought about that after the fact. I brought it up.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
I know it's like the Marvel video games tend to not be super great. Like the Avengers game I mentioned in the last, the first part.
I remember watching like the first couple of your streams. I'm like, huh, this is like, the story seems like it could be very good.
Yeah, I think Miss Marvel actually does the story better.
It does. That one was like, it took me a while to be like, do I like this show? And I decided like, it's not my least favorite show. That's like where I rank it. Like,
I liked it, but I think it's definitely not my favorite.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but like the style of it is.
It's also very long and could have been a movie in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like once it gets going and actually like tells the story, it's pretty good, but there's a lot of filler.
There is a lot of filler. Most of the first couple of episodes are filler, right? Like,
yeah. Like there's a few important things that happen in the first couple episodes, but the rest of the episode is filler. It's like you could have had this as a movie, and it probably would have been way better.
Yeah. It's like I know what they were trying to do now after the show finished, right?
Right.
But I feel like it could have been used to do something else, and people would be more receptive to it.
Probably.
Like,
Spoilers,
it's been a couple of weeks since it ended, right? Is that enough time for spoiler things to be?
No. It's not.
No. How long is enough time?
Never.
Never.
You never spoil anything, or else you'll be.
What about comics wise?
Comics wise, I guess it's fine because it's not necessarily
in the comics.
Mm.
Miss Marvel has Inhuman genes, like the guys that live on the moon. That's not Steve Rogers. Or Black Bolt and like other things, you know, like.
Right.
I thought they were gonna be using Miss Marvel in the show, you know, that type of thing, to go that way, incorporating that. But I was kind of disappointed, you know?
Yeah. I mean, they're incorporating a lot of stuff in, like, the newer shows that I think they can only incorporate so much of the comic storylines before it's like, yeah, we have a bunch of new stuff that we have to explore, but we don't have the time to. So, I think it just is a limitation of how they do things.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah. Is Phase 4 actually almost over already?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Wow, it's like, I feel like there's gonna be people like, oh, Phase 4 was stupid. There's like no good movies, you know, I could really see that happening.
A lot of Phase 4 was the shows, though, you know?
Yeah. I think that was like the main thing that they were focusing on in Phase 4.
Yeah, because they were trying it out, the shows, so they hadn't done that before, other than, I guess, the Netflix shows that people didn't like.
Some of them I understand not liking, but there's some like, just didn't give them a chance.
Yeah. Like, I hadn't watched them, not because I had heard that they were bad, just that I didn't ever get around to it. And, like, when they were popular, or, like, being talked about, I was too young to watch them. Because some of them, some of them you have to be older to watch.
For multiple reasons.
For multiple reasons. So, I wonder if the Daredevil Reborn will have, like, a similar theme to the original Daredevil show, or if it will be much more toned down in terms of, like, how dark it is.
Yeah.
Because we were talking.
I'm sorry, you can go.
We were talking about, like, Marvel and toning down stuff yesterday, you know, we were, about, like, the Wolverine game. And if, like, the worries people had with that game not getting an M rating because, like, with Carnage in the Venom 2, like, it was really toned down, even though that's a very violent character, more violent than Venom.
It would have made more sense for Venom to be PG-13 than to, like, bump it up for Carnage.
Yeah, but I get that they were doing it to be like, hey, Marvel, we can put this in your MCU movie, and it won't be terrible. But then people didn't love that, like, Let There Be Carnage. I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. But it definitely wasn't as good as the first one, mainly because it was, like, watered down.
Yeah. I think I told you my opinions on this multiple times. But I might say it again here just because viewers don't know it, probably. Unless they're listening into our conversations, which would be kind of weird.
It would be a little weird.
I feel like, first, like, I watch the movies not to see if it's a good movie or not. I watch it just to see how much enjoyment I have. And that's how I base if it's a good movie.
Right.
Let There Be Carnage's plot felt a little bit too rushed for me. Like,
I think they were also trying to do too much with that movie. They were trying to, like, tidy up the plot points from the first movie that they decided to abandon. And as well as make a new movie full of new plot points.
Yeah.
And so it just was like, there wasn't enough time without it being, like, a really, really long movie.
Yes.
I think it also is hurt because they wanted to put it back to PG-13, so they couldn't do, like, the lethal protector storyline.
Which they did set up really well in the first movie.
Yeah, and then they were like, well, we can't do that because even though we set it up because we wanted it to be PG-13. So I think that's partially where it suffered from. as well as
Yeah.
the, making Carnage just like way less violent than he's meant to be.
He's literally called Carnage.
Yeah. Like, you call a character Carnage, you imagine that they'll be pretty violent.
I was like looking forward to that. Like, like I was like, I went to see it with my friends in school, and so I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. And I wasn't disappointed. It was just like not what I was expecting, I guess is the closest thing.
Right. Venom and Venom 2 were movies that it took me a long time to watch. And again, it wasn't because I heard that they were bad and I didn't even hear much about them. But
yeah.
I just never watched them. I think partially because I knew Spider-Man wouldn't be in it. And I had, for a long time, been hoping for a Sinister Six movie, as a lot of other fans were.
I think that's closer to happening than people think it is.
Yeah, but not in the way people want it. And so
not in the way people want it, and that's a little frustrating. But
yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's whatever like the studio executives want is what's gonna happen more than what the fans want. Sure, there'll be like fan service. There'll be fan service here and there.
Yeah.
And like, definitely, No Way Home was definitely made because fans really, really wanted it.
Yes, I feel like it could have been very, very easily a completely different story that made a little bit more sense with the world, like the universe that they created. But I really like how they made it so it'll be more enjoyable for the audience than like more like lore building.
Yeah, the Marvel movies, not the Marvel movies, the Marvel Spider-Man movies have never really been all about lore building. They've been more, especially with like Homecoming, it's been more about how the average person is dealing with all like the superhero stuff that's happening in their world.
That is true, and then No Way Home completely changes direction and makes it more. Spider-Man's about the multiverse now.
Yeah. So in ways it doesn't make sense with the other Marvel movies and the other Spider-Man Marvel movies, but in other ways it was a lot of fun to watch and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's like I was thinking about it, like Homecoming was like the first movie that's like kind of like normal Spider-Man movie, right? Like that the MCU made. Yeah. I'm not saying if it's a good or bad thing. I personally really like all of the Spider-Man movies in the MCU. You know,
yeah,
like,
me too. I really like them.
But then after that, I feel like they're making Spider-Man into their like not catalyst. That's the wrong word. Like their superhero to start like talking about multiverses with. Because like there's No Way Home with Quentin Beck, right? Like.
Yeah, and they mention it, but then they're like, nope, he was completely lying.
Yeah.
Even though he was spot on with his naming of the universe. But not actually, like, it's so dumb. I don't want to fully get into that because of Doctor Strange spoilers, but... like,
oh, yeah, you're right, yeah.
The long and short of it is, Marvel is stupid.
Sometimes, you know.
But Marvel can do stupid decisions every now and then. If you've seen the movie, you probably know what I'm talking about. But I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't. Because it is a really good movie. I know, like, it's so weird watching, like, fans' reactions to the newer Marvel movies. Like, some people really love them, and some people really hate them. And they act as if you disagree with their opinion, then you're just completely wrong and also just a terrible person.
It reminds me of Star Wars in a way.
Yeah, it's just like so. I mean, it's just like any big fan like community. A lot of times they because there's a lot of terrible people out there, they're gonna be really terrible fans.
Yeah.
Especially as something gets bigger.
Yeah. And I think as things get better, it needs to be things like what Ewan McGregor did earlier this year, where he's saying if you are like doing these things, like being racist or stuff, you're not an actual fan.
Yeah, and I think that's really great of him to do because it tells the fans like, hey, you need to actually behave yourself.
Yeah, and it's even better. Like he did not need to do that at all.
Like he just ignored the criticisms and quote unquote criticisms, because they weren't criticisms, they were just racism.
Yeah.
But he decided to address it, which is really big. Whenever like a actor or like a YouTuber, a celebrity of some sort, just like stands up and does the right thing, it's like almost better than them, because they could easily just not do that, and people probably wouldn't care.
It speaks to their character, especially when they're as like beloved in their role as Ewan McGregor.
Right.
Like he could have just not done anything, and people wouldn't have hated on him for it.
It probably would have been easier for him to not do anything, but like honestly, it's not about what's the easiest thing. It's like the Dumbledore quote. It's not about what's easy. It's about doing what's right.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
Sometimes you have to come to a choice, and
yeah.
Sometimes Dumbledore had good thoughts.
Sometimes he had good thoughts, and sometimes he did not have great thoughts.
Borderline child abuse.
Borderline child abuse, yes. Harry Potter is another one of those things where I was talking about like scummy creators. It's like, yeah, J.K. Rowling is not a great person, but I also really like Harry Potter as a series and like a world. But
yes. It's like Fantastic Beasts. I'm not gonna say anything about why, because like that's definitely a spoiler. It's like I can't watch it anymore. You know, like it got to a point where not only is it not interesting, it's not morally okay to me.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I haven't seen it either because I know vaguely what it's about, and I don't want to watch that. No, it's like, and then I think about the game that's coming out, Hogwarts, I think Legacy is what it's gonna be called. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know how I want to feel about that, because I like Harry Potter and I like the world of Harry Potter, but is this gonna be a J.K. Rowling thing, or is this gonna be a Harry Potter thing? You know, like how much involvement does she have with the game making process?
Yes.
And that's what where it'll probably wind up with me. If she's really involved, then it will probably be really, really bad, to be honest with you. Because she's getting older and is worse at writing stuff.
But then it kind of gets to the part, like, bringing the conversation where it's like, when you create something, you need to be ready to let it go. Which I think it's now is like the time when she should start considering letting it go.
Yeah. Like, she could have gone after writing Harry Potter, like, written something else. Did she write any other books after?
Not popular.
Definitely not popular, but, like, did...
She definitely wrote other books, but I'm not sure if it was actually as widely...
Like, she could have gone and wrote more and, like, find something else that was really popular, but then she was just like, no, these other books aren't doing well, and Harry Potter did really well, so I'm just gonna really go in with that one and pretty much ruin it.
People stop talking about Harry Potter for 5 seconds. I just had this really, really useless piece of information on Twitter.
Yeah, the Twitter stuff also kind of annoys me because, one, it's not important information she adds most of the time, and sometimes it's like
stuff that counteracts something in the book too.
Yeah, sometimes like, it like retcons things because she didn't plan ahead when she was writing. And then like some things it's just like when would anyone ever need to know this piece of information? Like, no fan needs to know this piece of information. I'm talking about like there's parts where they talk about sexual education in Hogwarts. I'm not gonna tell you what she says in the tweet, but it's stuff that I didn't ever need to know.
Ever.
Ever.
They also talked about the bathroom facilities in Hogwarts history quite a bit in her tweets.
Why would I need to know that information either?
Do you know what I'm talking about,
though? I don't know what you're talking about, but whatever it is, I don't need to know.
So I can't say is what you're saying.
You can't say. I don't want to know.
Okay. Now the audience never gets to know.
Yep, I never get
Especially not if they look it up and ask.
But
just got a weird tangent with Marvel to Hogwarts bathrooms.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes, you know? You never know where the conversation will take you, which is why I like doing these.
Especially our conversations off recording.
Yes. If people would hear, like, just out of context quotes from off-stream conversations, they'd be very confused and probably worried.
Especially yesterday. Like, that was interesting.
I assure you it's nothing terrible, but it's just like, without the context, it can be
It's nothing incriminating.
Nothing incriminating. I don't think you're making it worse, though.
That's my specialty.
You sound more, what's the word?
Incriminating? Shady?
The more you talk about I want to not say the word sus, but the word sus is what comes to mind.
Yeah, I understand. I'm not really, but, like, you could think that if you want to.
And we've been really making progress on this building.
Yeah?
Helps when you have two, like,
maxed out pressure washers.
And then there's, like, when I was doing this with Ethan, he only had, like, basic one, and I had the best one. So, like, I was getting a lot done, and they were just, like, they were cleaning it. But that's, like, I guess that's not the point. Like, it's just to just have a conversation so we can take it as long as we need.
Yeah.
We ended up doing two just because, like, 2 videos of that. The next one will come out shortly. Probably be, like, way before this one comes out, obviously, because it's already scheduled to come out.
I think that already came out as this was recording.
No, the first one came out, not the second one.
I know, I saw that, like, I thought I saw a notification about
Oh, did it come out this morning?
I think so.
Ah, okay. So I guess you'll know when this video is being recorded. You just check when the other one came out, and you'll see how behind I am.
Yeah. I am so helpful with that to make it seem like you're on top of things and not like...
I feel like even the viewers probably know that I'm not on top of things because of my upload schedule being all over the place. I'll upload like a video for like 5 days in a row, and then just none for like a week.
That's called normal people's scheduling habits.
Probably. Apparently, there's an achievement for cleaning this building without the scaffolding.
I got that achievement.
I haven't gotten it. But it didn't exist when I was playing it. When I was first cleaning this thing.
Yeah.
It's interesting is like adding achievements after the fact. It's like, how do you go about the people who maybe already done the achievement but just didn't get credit for it because the achievement didn't exist when they got it.
Yeah.
It's also annoying when you have like almost all the achievements in a game, and then the game adds achievements with an update, and it's just like, no, I don't.
I think it needs to do that in like, to be like, I think like my opinion on that is like they can do it, but they need to do it like in a way that won't like be annoying. Like add a DLC and add achievements with the DLC. Like,
yeah, that's what Cuphead did. Is there was achievements directly correlated to the DLC that they added when they added the DLC, which I feel like mixed feelings about DLC achievements, mainly because like that if you want an achievement hunt, you have to get the DLC. Typically on console, it's like considered separate, so you could get the platinum trophy without getting the DLC trophies.
Yeah.
Which
I
I
also
like.
just don't trophy hunt, you know? So.
Yeah, I enjoy achievement hunting and trophy hunting, especially in a game that I love. Like, I've done it multiple times in Kingdom Hearts, as you probably didn't imagine.
Part of me is like, I want to do it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I have no time to sit down in the game and go like, okay, where did I miss?
Right. Because some achievements, especially for certain games more than others, it's like, you're more... Like, it's difficult to get the achievement because you have to do something very specific at a very specific point in the game. And if you don't get it, you have to restart the entire game.
Yeah.
which is annoying.
If I ever get to that point, I'd stop.
Right. That's why I didn't end up getting all the achievements for, what is it? Until Dawn. Because it's a sort of game where if you want to get all the achievements, you have to play through the entire game multiple times. And if you miss something, you have to play through the entire game again. And it's just like, so much more effort.
I feel like I'd get annoyed with that really, really easily.
Yeah. It was a bit annoying. And also, like, I feel like the people watching the streams were getting a little bored with Until Dawn. Because it's one of those games that people, like, it's popular, and people say it's a really good horror game. But honestly, it's not super great. It's definitely not the scariest horror game out there. It's a bit cheesy, and I guess that's also part of its charm. It's like it's meant to be a bit cheesy at times.
Yeah.
But
I like those types of games that like make fun of themselves. You know?
But it doesn't even seem like it's making fun of itself. It's just
really?
cheesy because that's like how it's designed to be. It's meant to be like a teen horror thing. And so sometimes teen horror things can be a bit cheesy.
I misunderstood the thing then. I understand now.
Yeah, but again, I think it's just like that by design rather than like it happens to be cheesy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you get that. I'll get the inside of the building.
Other side of the building?
The inside of the building.
Like there's another side?
Well, technically there's 4 sides to the building, if you think about it. As there is with pretty much most buildings, unless they have more sides.
Whoa, what about the Pentagon?
Pentagon, is there 5, like, walls?
I don't know, I'd always just assumed that they made the Pentagon in the shape of a pentagon.
I live near DC, so you'd think I would know.
You should check.
I should go downtown to check.
You definitely wouldn't get in trouble.
Yeah, I'll walk right into the Pentagon. They'll have no issues with me being there.
You know, Nightcrawler did that, except the White House.
Yeah, Nightcrawler also got shot when he did that.
Good point. You might want to bring that into consideration.
And also, Nightcrawler had abilities like
some consider to be unnatural.
Some consider to be unnatural, called teleporting. It's definitely less than natural.
We should talk about the X-Men movie since you just watched it.
Yeah, I just watched through the first 3 X-Men movies, as well as Logan. And I quite enjoyed them. Again, it wasn't something that I had not watched because I heard various things on it. It's just that, like, I hadn't ever got around to watching it, which is typically the case. I'm not someone who will not watch something or will watch something based on other people's opinions. Because, believe it or not, you can form opinions for yourself.
Wait, really?
I know, right? I just learned that recently.
Shocking. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But I'll typically watch something and decide for myself if I'd like it or not. I know before it even came out, Uncharted had people, like, suspecting it would be a bad movie. Mainly because it was a video game movie, and video game movies typically don't do well. But I feel like it's gotten to the point where people don't expect them to be good, and so they just don't give it a chance. Because I
understand, but I don't like that way of thinking. Like, I kind of understand it, but it's like...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is, like, I don't like that way of thinking, and I think you should give things a chance. But I understand if you don't want to waste your time watching a movie you probably won't like. But that being said, I really enjoyed the Uncharted movie. I had always said before it even came out that it was a good, a good game to make a movie based off of, because it's very cinematic as a video game.
I have never played the game. Like, I know some of the plot points.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of them, but some of them.
The movie also doesn't just, like, copy one of the games. It takes inspiration from each of the games.
Mm-hmm.
The base story is very inspired by the third and fourth game. Like it has very big plot points that have to do with the third game story, but then also very big plot points that have to do with the fourth game story. And then there's scenes that are directly taken out of the third game. Like when watching the trailers, even just watching the trailers, if you played the games, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because it's like a very big moment in the third game. It's a very cool moment too. Yeah, the plane scene. Probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie. In the game, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I haven't watched the movie, but I did see the trailer, like, for a couple of movies I watched. Ironically, I think it was before Let There Be Carnage.
I watched it, actually, the trailer before watching No Way Home. Which makes sense because it's Spider-Man, or not, it's a Spider-Man movie. Yeah, Uncharted is a Spider-Man movie. No, Tom Holland is in Uncharted, and Tom Holland is Spider-Man.
Wait. Tom Holland is Spider-Man? Did he just admit his secret identity to the internet?
No, Spider-Man doesn't exist. Tom Holland's an actor. It's important to me that you know that Spider-Man is not real.
It's important to me that you know that. What is that from?
It's from Parks and Rec. Ben Wyatt and Andy.
Oh, is that Hogwarts?
Yeah, is that Hogwarts?
Hogwarts is fictional. You do know that, don't you? It's important to me that you know that.
No, Hogwarts isn't fictional. It's clearly a real place.
It's clearly Scottish.
Yeah, they were in London, so I don't even know what he's thinking. But also, Andy isn't the smartest character. As with most of Chris Pratt's roles. Comic relief, and as well as Chris Pratt's roles, they're not typically very smart characters. Although, what's his name? From Onward is pretty smart.
Bradford?
Something like that. I really liked Onward. It was the first, like, Pixar movie to be directly released to Disney Plus. But I...
Oh, it was, wasn't it? Wow, that was a while ago. Time flies and you're having fun.
Have you been having fun watching Onward?
I should watch it again.
Yeah, I've watched it a couple times. It's probably one of my favorite Pixar films. Just because, like, it's a story about brothers. So, like, having two brothers of my own, it's like, oh yeah, I relate to the younger brother a lot, which is the main character.
You get to relate to the younger brother. I get to relate to the older brother.
That makes sense. I mean, there's probably, like, depending on different people, they probably relate to different characters because of this. That's how the movies
work.
Like, that's how movies work, but how that specific movie is made. It's like people understand the characters' like motivations and their beliefs because of like how
personal experience.
Yeah, personal experiences. Because I was the youngest of three brothers, I relate to the younger brother. And I imagine if my older brothers watched it, they'd probably relate to the older brother.
Yeah. I was like, well, yeah, I that's not the right phrasing. Like, I'm the oldest of my siblings. So I was like, I kind of understand what the older brother is done. It's like he's trying to be helpful, but they're just not listening. So it's like,
right. That is a very common thing with siblings. It's like younger siblings seem just to always think like you're always not trying to be helpful, regardless of what you do.
Yeah. Just kind of frustrating.
It is. That's how it is sometimes with my little sister. They don't. I mean, it also is like an age difference. Is they're much younger than me, so they're gonna not understand things the way I do.
Yeah.
Which is just how it works. That's how things are. But it can be frustrating.
Yeah.
What about, have you seen Turning Red? That's a
I
newer one.
have. I watched it before finals.
What did you think of that one? Did you like that one?
It was not bad.
See,
I wouldn't put it in my top fives. I would not put it in my top 5 Pixar movies.
I probably wouldn't put it in my top 5s, but I still really enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's like I like the that they made a movie about that.
Yeah, I like the message that it had, which a lot of people didn't like what they were doing. But you're allowed to not like something, but like it's we talked about this briefly in one of the other ones. Like you're allowed to not like something, but like not liking something for certain reasons is not okay, you know?
Yes. I thought it was kind of funny that the mom reacted to the way that she did to one of the drawings.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not how you react to that.
Yeah, that's not a good way of addressing the situation. I guess that it's also meant to be relatable in certain senses, because, like, some parents will react in that way, even though it's not the right way to react.
Yeah. But it's like, that did not help the character, right? Because like, she was already confused, right? Because of that.
Yeah. But, I mean, obviously the parent didn't fully know what's going through the character's mind, because no one knows how to read minds.
Huh? Professor X. Yeah.
Professor X is a fictional character now.
Oh, sometimes I forget. Same thing.
Yeah. Sometimes you forget that the actors who play characters are not the characters.
No, I knew that because Patrick Stewart also played Star Trek.
Oh, in that case, yeah. But you're saying that Tom Holland never played any other character than Spider-Man?
Nope, not in the movie that I watched.
He was also in Onward.
Oh yeah, I forgot that voice actors are in movies.
I forgot that voice actors are. He's been in a few stuff lately. I mean,
Has.
He was in a horror movie I saw a part of. It was weird because he had, like, a southern accent. But it's, again, he's British, so not only is he faking an American accent, but he's also faking, like...
harder American accent.
Yeah. It's very interesting. It's not, like, it's not, in a way where it doesn't sound right. But it's, like, in the same vein that anyone else who's faking that accent, it's pretty easy to tell that they're faking it.
I had this very strong urge to start faking that accent, but I won't.
I think you might offend people if you make an accent.
Oh, we're bringing those jokes into the...
No, that's not even a joke. I think people would actually get offended.
I know, I was just... Never mind.
Oh, my hand fell
I
asleep.
was making a reference that people wouldn't understand unless they were
listening in on our conversations.
Yeah.
That should be weird. Yeah, if you're doing that out there, don't stop it. Stop listening in.
Don't stalk her.
Don't stalk us. I would appreciate it if you would stop doing that.
Do you want to talk about multiverses? Because we've been playing that a ton.
We can probably talk about that. Multiverses, if you don't know what that is, you've been living under a rock, because it's gotten really popular lately. Basically, it's a Smash clone.
That is arguably better than Smash.
It's arguably better than Smash. It's basically just a Warner Brothers fighting game. So it's got characters like Batman and Superman, but also characters like Bugs Bunny and Steven Universe. It's pretty interesting, and it has a lot of like lines, or like dialogue between characters that clearly don't know each other, and it ends up being pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like Batman to Shaggy is a pretty funny dynamic.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I can't remember any of the lines, but I remember like laughing a lot about
He calls him a hippie.
Oh yeah, that's what I was laughing at.
But it's a very fun game, and I've been playing a lot of it with Noah. some people would say that I'm addicted to the game. I would not say
Including
that.
Noah.
I would say that I thoroughly enjoy the game.
Maybe an unhealthy level.
I'm not playing the game now.
That's a good point. We're playing Powerwash Pals.
No,
Powerwash
I can't
Power
call
Up.
it that. That's illegal. That's
I forgot.
copyright.
Dang it. Copyright.
Markiplier will strike down my entire channel.
I can't believe that. I'm sorry. That was a legitimate mistake.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that I'm using that idea, but I wanted to be clear that I'm using the idea, so it's not like I'm claiming that I came up with the idea. I clearly
Good
didn't.
idea.
But it was weird. I don't think I talked about this, though. I tried to find other games that I could do, like, just sit down and chat sort of thing, and there were, like, very few games that I could find.
It didn't require a lot of
Wall.
paying attention to.
Yeah, a lot of games, it's hard to just, like, completely not think about the game and just chat. Like, there are a few fishing games that I could find, but none that, like, I would...
Your interest.
Yeah, none that were interesting. None that, like, a lot of people know about, so it's less likely that people that I know would have the game.
Yeah.
Where is the Johto? Oh, I see it. It's up there.
I can't climb a ladder, apparently.
So this is actually, like, one of the few games that works for that sort of content.
Yeah. I don't think this ladder is working.
Just pick it up and put it back in. It didn't work for me right away either. Real tower frame.
There's an office wall, but I'm pretty sure I got all the office walls.
A door frame. A door frame and a wall frame are actually two different things. Did you know that, Noah?
I think I could have had a guess.
Yeah. Okay, so what is the office wall?
It's over here. I don't know where it is.
You find it? I hear you spraying.
I'm just going over everything in case like it's so small that it doesn't oh, I got it.
Alright. That'll do it for today's episode. If you liked it, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the Twitch. Sadly, Noah does not have a YouTube or Twitch, but as the day this video comes out, it will be Noli's birthday. So I want you guys to go in the comments and wish him happy birthday. You don't have to, but if you would, that would mean a lot to him, I imagine. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.